Do not give up. See what happens. Well, thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea Podcast Show. I feel really, really amazing and really good. First of all, I don't know if y'all seen my post. I did not post it here in YouTube land. YouTube is down here. I got my YouTube streaming live right here. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. And I have... Did I just show like my whole messy office? Sure did. I don't care. My office space is messy, but guess what I found? I found to clean the boo-boo, and I'm about to call her and get some motherfucking quotes, okay? I'm about to get some quotes, okay? So it's okay if my home office looks this way right now. The rest of the house is not. And I really need to get my home office more functional so I can actually do my homework in my home office. I'll be doing my homework in the living room. I'll be doing my homework at the island of the kitchen. I'll be doing my homework everywhere. But anyway, whew, it has been such a phenomenal week. Second week in school. And first of all, there are so many new students, and my professors are fantastic. All of them, like, everyone is great. Everyone is fantastic. I'm seeing that 4.0 emerge this semester, baby. That 4.0 about to emerge. They like, ooh, she cute and smart. Ooh. Yes. Happiness. Happiness is something that I am intentional about. I am protective over, even though I really don't need to be protective over, because when you are vibrating at a higher frequency, when you are vibrating at the frequency of gratitude, naturally you repel and you reject anything that is not on that frequency. It's just a natural thing. So that is my experience. And I'm so grateful. I'm like, my gratitude is on a zillion, because this literally is my best life. Literally, like, I am seeing such rapid growth. You know what I was thinking about as I was watching Agape a little bit? I got a little bit unpresent, and I went to think about how I was going to start off today's show, right? And I thought of Jack and the Beanstalk, because that's what it feels. Remember those beans? Those beans hit the ground, and because they were endowed with something extra. In the story, they called them magic beans. But they was definitely endowed with something extra, that the very next day, there was a whole stalk up to the heavens, and up there was a whole family living that was humongous, giants. And that's how I feel in my life. I feel like that source, God, divinity, Allah, whatever you want to call that source of life, that is literally keeping the planet that we all occupy afloat. There is an energetic, powerful force that is allowing that to happen. And I know that that force is inside of me. And I know that it is what is my anchor, what is my fuel, what is pushing me to grow, I have so many examples of how I saw the proof of my growth, not just by looking in the mirror, not by just how I feel when I get out of the bed in the morning, but how I interact, how I respond, not react. The growth, phenomenal. So I just wanted to share that tidbit with you guys. Ooh, that coffee good. Let me tell you, I got my coffee, baby. I got some collagen in my coffee. I got some creatine. I got some magnesium. I got some agave syrup, and I got a little bit of nutmeg. Baby, let me tell you, it's good for the body. So we are in chapter, we had a whole nother section of the book. We are at responsibility. And I love the fact that the affirmation for Agape Live today had this word in there, but they split it into two. Response. They had as one word, and then they had ability as another word. Because how we respond to things is up to us. It ain't up to the other person or anybody or anything outside of us. We are only responsible for ourselves. And we can only be responsible and have control over how we respond to other things. All right. So, I'm excited. This is chapter 9, choice. I'm going to dive right in. And I pick up this book every week, once a week. I come here and I do my episode, Soulful Sunday, every week, faithfully. And then I take the book and I put it down. Because I got other studying to do, other reading to do. I got 3 classes, people, that I'm getting A's in, okay? That requires a whole bunch of reading. And homework and all that good stuff. Anyway, let's get into the book. The center of the evolutionary process is choice. It is the engine of our evolution. Each choice that you make is a choice of intention. You may choose to remain silent in a particular situation, for example, and that action may serve the intention of penalizing, sharing compassion, extracting vengeance, showing patience, or loving. You may choose to speak forcefully, and that action may serve any of the same intentions. What you choose with each action and each thought is an intention, a quality of consciousness that you bring to your action or your thought. The splintered personality has several or many aspects. One aspect may be loving and patient. Another may be vindictive, another charitable, and another selfish. Each of these aspects has its own values and goals. If you are not conscious of all the different parts of yourself, the part of yourself that is the strongest will win out over the other parts. Its intention will be the one that the personality uses to create its reality. The charitable part of you, for example, may want to see the burglar that was caught in your house given another chance. But if the vindictive part of you is stronger, you will perhaps, with mixed feelings, press for his or her arrest. You cannot choose your intentions consciously until you become conscious of each one of the different aspects of yourself. If you are not conscious of each part of yourself, you will have the experience of wanting to say or to intend one thing and find yourself saying or intending something else. You will want your life to move in one direction and find that it's moving in another. You will desire to release a painful pattern from your experience and see it reappear yet again. It's not easy for a splintered personality to become whole because only some parts of a splintered personality seek wholeness. The other parts, because they are not as responsible or caring or compassionate as the parts that seek wholeness, pull in the other direction. They seek to create what satisfies them, what they have become accustomed to. These parts of the personality are often strong and well established. The splintered personality must always choose between opposing parts of itself. This is the backbone situation of our evolution. This is the foundational situation, the point of choice. The choice of intention is also the choice of karmic path. If you speak or act from anger, for example, you create the karma of anger. If you speak or act with compassion, you create the karma of compassion. And a different path opens before you. This happens whether you are aware of the different parts of yourself or not. Whether even you are aware of the choices that you make at each moment. Unconscious evolution through the density of physical matter, through the experiences that are created unconsciously by unconscious intentions, have been the way of our species until now. This is the unconscious road to authentic empowerment. Conscious evolution through responsible choice is the accelerated way of evolution of the multi-sensory personality and the five-sensory personality that is becoming multi-sensory. Responsible choice is the conscious road to authentic empowerment. What is responsible choice? As you follow your feelings, you become aware of the different parts of yourself and the different things that they want. You cannot have all of them at once because many of them conflict. The part of you that wants more money and a bigger house conflicts with the part of you that suffers with the poor and hungry. The part of you that reaches out with compassion towards the beauty in others conflicts with the part of you that wants to use others for your own benefit or gratification. When you satisfy one part of yourself, the needs of another goes unsatisfied. The fulfillment of one part of you creates anguish in another or others, and you are torn. Just as the experimenter in quantum physics cannot produce the experience of waves from physical light and the experience of particles from physical light at the same time, you must choose which experience he or she will create. So you also, as you shape non-physical light, must choose which experience you will create. As you become conscious of the different parts of your personality, you become able to experience consciously the forces within you that compete for expression, that lay claim to the single intention that will be yours at each moment, that will shape your reality. When you enter these dynamics consciously, you create for yourself the ability to choose consciously among the forces within you, to choose where and how you will focus your energy. The choice not to choose is the choice to remain unconscious and therefore to wield power irresponsibly. Awareness of the splintered personality and of its need for integration brings with it the need for conscious choice. Each decision requires that you choose which part of yourself you want to cultivate and which parts you want to release. A responsible choice is a choice that takes into account the consequences of each of your choices. In order to make a responsible choice, you must ask yourself for each choice that you are considering, what will this produce? Do I really want to create that? Am I ready to accept all of the consequences of this choice? Project yourself into the probable future that will unfold with each choice that you are considering. Do this not with the energy of intention, but simply to test the water, to get the feel for what you are considering creating. I had an issue. I had a moment. I will pause right there. Um, so this week, Monday through Friday, I'm in school. And, I did order some things. Suits. I got to check my email and see where these suits is at. But I saw this deal that came up on social media where you get like, I don't know, I feel like it was like 10 suits for like $35. I don't know what they make them out of. But I said, frick it, let me go for it, because I can switch it up. This comes with a blazer and it comes with the pants. And then they're all like solid colors. And I was like, I could wear the solid colors, the match, the set together, and then I could switch up the colors and wear like a yellow blazer with orange pants. Yep, I would do it. Um, so I'm waiting for that to come. And until that comes, I'm just, working with what I have now. So, I'm in my 40s. I'm perimenopausal, I guess. I don't know if I'm really actually perimenopausal. I just know that for me, it seems like that. And I'm already, I don't want to be too TMI. All I can say is that 40s for me feels like a teenager times a zillion hormonally. I don't feel, I feel the opposite of less than I feel a lot of more. So I wanted to get my little sexy on. When was this? Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. It might have been Thursday. I wanted to get my sexy on. It was definitely Thursday. So I decided to put on a yellow dress and I decided to put on heels. Now, me wearing heels was like a huge thing because my muscles are recovering from an accident that I had back in 23. And then previous to that, there was some other major things that happened with my legs. So it was big, but I've been working on them. If you just came in, I was talking about my coffee. I put creatine in my coffee. I put magnesium in my coffee. I also put collagen in my coffee. I've been putting my TENS machine on. That's electrical impulses. I have a vibrational plate right here in my office. This is my home office / exercise room. And so I've been working on my muscles plus moving around more. I'm not a small lady. I'm over 220 pounds. So that strengthens the muscles too, So I wanted to test it out and I was not in excruciating pain. I was very, very, very happy. But I noticed that my sexiness was attracting various individuals I didn't even expect to attract because I wasn't even thinking about these individuals when I decided I want to just put my sexy on. But I was getting looks left and right. And matter of fact, the very first person who noticed me when I came on there kept looking back. Like I came behind them and they just felt my energy and I was just like, okay. They kept looking back and I was like, okay. I put up my little theme music and they was like, oh, I like that. And I was like, thank you. And they kept going to their class and I kept going to my class. And so I caught something, but I didn't pay it no mind. You ever catch a look and you don't pay it no mind until afterwards and you're like, wait a minute, did I see what I thought I seen? I think I seen what I thought I seen. And so anyway, it took I did exactly what this book is saying. Like just thinking about the possibilities of if I decide to go down this particular road. And this particular road involves something that I have been thinking about periodically here and there, I'm really adamant about having a sacred union, being with souls who are on my wavelength, like my level of consciousness or above it, and being able to commune with them and do just all the regular human things, but I don't have any interest doing certain human things. And when I say certain human things, I'm particularly talking about sex. I don't want to have sexual exchanges with individuals who are on a low vibrational frequency that's just doing what everybody else is doing, thinking like how everybody else is thinking, unaware of the great vast of power that we each individually have, unaware of the divine, like they have boxed the divine into an image of man and put this image of man up in the sky somewhere, don't realize like divinity, that God force, the force that's keeping the very earth that we all share, like that same force is actually within us. Not having an intimate relationship, not having any spiritual practices. Like I don't want to I don't want to deal intimately with anybody like that. And so I don't. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because I know of the exchange and I know how you basically open up your soul to an individual when you do exchange sexual energy with them. So I'm very, 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 very serious about that. However, I said, well, because I do have this preference for myself, I'm not going to limit the divine on how the divine brings to me the individual or individuals who are on this wavelength. I'm going to be open. Now, I did meet this wonderful, amazing, fantastic individual that was never ever it's not like I planned to meet them. You know, it was just like I just stumbled across them. And then initially I was just like so overwhelmed by their positive energy and just by their presence that I was like, okay, I got to get away from this person because they got me hot. They got me hot. Hey, be having me hot. And so I needed to to explain that you got me hot. You make me hot. You make me hot. So anyway, but I've been paying attention, obviously, because I'm a Taurus, and I noticed like he has different connections, and he has a similar effect on a lot of people. You know, like I'm not the only woman that be hot and bothered by him. So I'm just like, how does he navigate this charm, this natural charm of his? Because I have a similar charm, especially if I bring my sexy out, even without my sexy, people are attracted to me, they talk to me, they give me hugs, things of that sort. But hey, Tanisha, how are you? How are you? How are you? Oh, that's my little coulda been my step baby girl, but now I'm just your auntie. I'm just your extra auntie now. Oh, look at you in my life. Wait till I tell your dad. Hi. Tanisha, I don't know if you're still around, but Tanisha came in. Aw, this has warmed up my whole heart right now. Anyway, Tanisha is an adult, so I can still speak freely. Although the mom slash auntie and me just like lit up right now. But anyway, yeah, I have a similar, effect. And so, and I feel like if I had similar positions, it probably would be even more so, So the guy that is the object of my heart, I call him the object of my heart, right? I'm just getting to know him. I'm just getting to know him, and I'm only getting to know certain parts of him. So I only see him at social, not even social. Social is the wrong word. I only see him in public. All different type of public places, different public settings, okay? And he's been pretty much the same. And again, the response and reaction is the same. So I don't know how he deals with that. I know how I deal with it. I may notice it. Half the time I don't notice it unless somebody actually says something to me because I'm not looking to notice it. But because I'm paying attention to what's around me, I do notice his effect on other women. So it's like I'm not the only one that think he all fly and stuff. But I feel like other women feel he's fly for different reasons. Yes, he is physically attractive. Yes, he's energetically attractive. But then there's other things about him too, which I'm not going to go into details about. But like I say, his homeboy look good. So it's one particular person that spends a lot of time with him, and I've caught him a few times, peeking at them physically, and I'm just like, okay, I wonder if anything's going on. And a relative of mine's also seen the same thing. They was like, yeah, something definitely going on. And then I see, just different how they interact with each other. It's not very loud. You have to be very aware to catch any of it, but I did. And so what came to mind, because that person that they interact with and spend a lot of time with was one of the people who gave me a look when I had my sexy on. Like, my sexy is always on, but when I decided to amplify it by putting on a form-fitting dress and some heels, I was like, okay, I didn't pay no mind. I didn't pay no mind until like Friday. Friday, a thought came through my mind, and then very shortly, the person was contacting me, and I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, hey, Tina. I was like, let me find out. Like, so what you presenting me with, universe? And universe is like, you can have whatever you like. You can have him. You can have her. Y'all can be together, making him. You can have whatever you like. Okay. So anyway, I feel like I went way too far down the rabbit hole. I'm gonna get back to the book. The point is that you can test the water, and you can test the water with things that you may desire, things that you may want to experience, by simply feeling, oh, if I make this choice, what will be an outcome? What can be an outcome? And then you can choose to drive that outcome into a positive direction, But always remember this. Always remember this. You only have control over you. So even though you may think about interacting with others in a certain way, you have no way of knowing how these people are going to respond to you, how they're going to react to you, if they would even be interested in the same choice that you're thinking about. So keep that in mind too. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm going to get back to the book. See how you feel. I don't know how I felt when I thought about that shit. Sorry. I felt like a volcano. Okay. See how you feel. Ask yourself, is this what I really want? I want to try. Okay, wait, I'm going to be serious. And then decide. When you take the consequences of your choice into your decision, and when you choose to remain conscious, that is a responsible choice. Only through responsible choice can you choose consciously to cultivate and nourish the needs of your soul, and to challenge and release the wants of your personality. This is the choice of clarity and wisdom. The choice of conscious transformation. It is the choice of the higher frequency energy currents of love, forgiveness, and compassion. It is the choice to follow the voice of your higher self, your soul. It is the decision to open yourself to the guidance and assistance of your guides and teachers. It is the path that leads consciously to authentic power. How does this happen? You may be aware that deceiving another person is not in alignment with your soul, but decide to do that anyway in order to gain a profit or save a relationship that you are not ready to lose. You may know that the path of compassion is to share your thoughts and actions, and yet decide not to share them because you think that will cost you money or security. When you choose the energy of your soul, when you choose to create with the intentions of love, forgiveness, humbleness, clarity, you gain power. Oh shit. Excuse my like, wait a minute. I gain what? Oh damn. Excuse my language. You know I'm a little ghetto. If y'all don't know that by now, if you're new to this channel, yes, I communicate it with Ebonics sometimes, okay? Even though I know the power of words, okay? It's a work in progress. I'm still growing, people. I'm still growing. What really matters is the energy behind the words, okay? Yes, the words have power, but the energy behind them is what gives it the real power and drives whatever direction it's going in. All right. When you choose to learn through wisdom, you gain power. When you choose, I'm reading this for the first time, people. When you choose to create with the inner, that I remember, when you choose to create with the energy of your personality, with anger, jealousy, or fear, when you choose to learn through fear and doubt, you lose power. You gain or lose power, therefore, according to the choices that you make. Wow. The personality is interested in itself. It likes thrills, so to speak. It is not necessarily responsible, nor caring, nor loving. The soul is the energy of universal love, wisdom, and compassion. It creates with this energy, with these energies. The personality understands power as external. It perceives in terms of competition, threats, gains, losses that are measured against those of others. When you align yourself with your personality, you give power to the realm of the five senses, to external circumstances and objects. You disempower yourself. Mm, 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 mm. As you grow aware of your spiritual self and origin, you your immortalness, and you choose and live according to that first. That's what I be doing. That's what I be doing. And the physical second. That's what I be doing. That's what I be doing. You close the gap that exists between the personality and the soul. You begin to experience authentic power. Oh, suck it now. When you interact in terms of the perceptions of your personality, in terms of your five senses, there is an illusion that you do not see. A disagreement between two friends, for example, is not so much a disagreement as aspects of each surfacing in order to be healed. If they were not souls in agreement, they would not be together at all. If a father longs to be at the birth of his son, for example, but circumstances take him elsewhere, the perception that he is elsewhere is an illusion. He is with his son. As the personality becomes whole and empowered, it becomes content to let the illusion play. This is the creation of the dynamic of the soul, whereby no matter what situation it is in, it creates the best of all worlds from the power that it draws to the situation. From the perception of the personality, it is not possible to see clearly those human beings who from the outside appear to be making foolish decisions, or to be unaware of their environment, when in truth they are simply drinking from the finest nectar of their environment and are totally content to let the illusion play. The splintered personality is not content. The contentment that it feels in one moment is replaced by anger or fear or even envy in the next moment, as conflicting aspects of itself struggle with each other. Your responses to the struggles between the conflicting aspects of yourself determine the way that you will evolve, consciously or unconsciously, through the experience of negative karma or positive karma, through fear and doubt or through wisdom. Your struggles themselves do not create karma or determine the way that you will evolve, only your responses to them. If you struggle with the conflicting part of yourself, if your struggle rather is with the conflicting parts of yourself is conscious, you are able to choose consciously the response that will create the karma that you desire. You will be able to bring to bear upon your decision an awareness of what lies behind each choice. I saw the name Wilson. I thought it was somebody I knew. I thought it was DW. That shit says DR. Anyway, if you struggle with the conflicting parts of yourself, if you're struggling with the conflicting parts of yourself is conscious, you are able to choose consciously the response that will create the karma that you desire. You will be able to bring to bear upon your decision an awareness of what lies behind each choice and the consequences of each choice, and choose accordingly. When you enter into your decision making dynamic consciously, you insert your will consciously into the creative cycle through which your soul evolves, and you enter consciously into your own evolution. This requires effort, but it's really more difficult than living through the consequences that follows. But is it really more difficult than living through the consequences that follow a decision to act in anger or selfishness or fear, when you know that with each decision to act without compassion, you yourself will experience the discord or fear or anguish that you create? Is it not worth the effort to project yourself ahead into the probable consequence of each of your actions at each point of choice and see how you will feel in each instance? How comfortable you will be with each of the consequences? If doing that will allow you to harvest love, compassion, and authentic power, the effort that you apply to each decision to align yourself with your soul is rewarded many times. Yes, it is. The part of yourself that reaches towards light may not be the strongest part of you at the moment that you choose to journey towards authentic power consciously. At the moment that you choose the vertical path, but it is the part that the universe backs. Universe meaning that source, that power, that energetic field and energy that has our blue planet afloat and keeps us from falling off of the blue planet that we all occupy. Some people call it God, some people call it Allah. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but that force is going to back you up every time you choose to be conscious and come from your soul versus coming from your personality. Now we know the difference. They broke down the difference. What's the difference coming from your soul or your personality? Your soul is coming with love. Your soul is coming with compassion. Your soul is coming with forgiveness, because your soul is essentially the God part of you. That's where divinity is inside of each of us. Your personality is stuff that that you develop through your experiences, through your environment, through different programming, through what you watch on TV, what you listen to on the radio, what's constantly going into your mind or your subconscious. Those are programs. Those are programs. It's not who you naturally are. It just might be what your personality exemplifies of your natural self. Your natural self is your soul. That's the part that is infinite, and that's the part that even when you lose this body, that part of you is still in existence. Let's get back to the book. When it becomes necessary, for example, for the physical, emotional body of a person to heal, a dramatic shift in nutrition is often required, wherein a person must release every one of his or her eating habits and take on the habits of eating certain foods that are much higher in vibration. Oh my God, I gotta stop right there, because that's literally what's happening in my freaking life. Literally, like last week, I ate collard greens every freaking day. From Sunday to freaking Friday, I had collard greens, just greens and protein, greens and protein, greens and proteins. Now, I stacked those with potato chips here and there, had a little bit of potassium here and there, but that's what I ate. And then yesterday, I made, again, like a high vibrational meal, spinach, onions. I chopped up the onions, some chicken breast, and some olive oil. I sauteed the chicken in the olive oil with some oregano. Speaking of oregano, y'all want to see my babies? You gotta see my babies. We gotta take a pause for a second and show you my babies in the window. Look at my babies in the window. Can y'all see my babies in the window? Hold up. Let me take your phone out this little charger thingy. Out this little holder. Look at my babies flowering. I told y'all my office was a little mess. It was a little messy. But look at my babies. Look at my babies. That is me growing oregano, people. Growing oregano. I'm sorry, this is not oregano. That is basil. I got all hype. I'm like, wait a minute, wait. My bad. My bad. Y'all, is basil. Growing basil. And also growing some sage. And here's my exercise thing. One of my exercise things. Again, my office space is look at my printer. My printer all the way up underneath there. That's where my printer at. Say hi, Cannon. Let's flip the camera back to the one corner of the room that's halfway decent. Sorry, YouTube people. I'm gonna show y'all too. I gotta show YouTube people my basil too. Look, YouTube. Uh-oh, wait, hold up. Oh. Wait a minute. Look at my basil in the window though. Look at my basil. Woo! Woo! So yeah, that's what I made. Just using herbs and eating protein and greens. Protein, greens, and veggies, you know. Are like the staples. And then I put the creatine in my coffee on a daily basis with my magnesium and my collagen. And I'm wondering, like, not only is it allowing my muscles to grow and heal efficiently and speedily, it's also growing my hair. Like, the hair is an extra bonus. Because I didn't even know that it did that like that. Shoot, I was able to catch it and put braids in it. People, look at my pictures. I was Wakanda a few months ago. Like the back of my hand, Wakanda, like. Well, I got the pictures to prove it. I was Wakanda. And now I got a whole little baby afro. What? This book be talking the truth. This book is talking the truth, okay? When it be, okay, where we at? 90% of the person's personality may not want to do that, but the 10% that is choosing that path for the sake of health and wholeness has more power ultimately than the 90% that is fighting to remain where it is and have its own way. Because the universe backs that 10%, but not the 90%. Think in terms of what it means to make decisions and try to cause the rest of you to fall into alignment with them. Of responsible choice. And as you move into the healing of who you are and the conscious journey towards what it is you want, recognize that the universe backs the part of you that is of the clearest intention. You are constantly receiving guidance and assistance from your guides and from your teachers and from the universe itself. When you choose consciously to move towards the energy of your soul, you invite that guidance. When you ask the universe to bless you in your effort to align yourself with your soul, you open a passageway between yourself and your guides and your teachers. You assist their efforts to assist you. You invoke the power of the non-physical world. That is what a blessing is. And ooh, baby, I'm grateful for all the ones that I have. And they keep multiplying, yeah. Okay. Whew. I really am, though. And they really do. And they really are. And I'm just like, thank you so freaking much. Thank you so much. And I know, my happiness is disturbing to others who are not experiencing it. I get that. And that's why I've been sharing more. I go through every emotion, people. I just choose responsibly where I decide to stay at. And I make that choice because out of wisdom. I make that choice out of wisdom. I know that if I choose to dwell more on what I'm grateful for, that more things for me to be grateful for are coming into my life. I know this. I see it. It's literally all around me. Doesn't mean that other emotions I don't experience. Friday, I don't even know how I'm gonna be, but I know Friday ain't here yet. Today is Sunday, but Friday, on top of doctor's appointments where I gotta get a CAT scan for my legs, and start my physical therapy. So a lot of stuff happening Friday. I'm also going to a comedy club, and I'm going to a comedy club because me and Nikki plan to go to a comedy club. Now Nikki decided she wasn't going to be in this physical realm anymore. However, I'm still going to honor her and go to that comedy club. And as I thought about that several times last week, I balled, baby. When I tell you I balled, I was balling, and I had to soothe. I had to self-soothe. I had to tell myself, like, I know better. Like, I know that even though she's not in the physical, that she still exists. Her soul still exists on a higher level, on a higher frequency. So I had to remind myself of that, and I had to calm myself down. However, my personality still was very upset and still angry and still hurt and still sad. So I said, you know what? Let me not only just honor her on the 19th, where she would have been turning 44, but also honor her and share a bit of my emotions and about our experiences, because you know she just was physically there through so many different experiences in my life, you know, so many, from teenage motherhood to early 20s abusive marriage to the birth of my daughter to the death of my daughter. Like, this woman was just there, and it wasn't like I ever looked for her. She just was there. It was just, I looked around and she was there. So I'm like, wow, she's like now in the astral plane, and she's still here, you know, but I thought we was gonna physically share and do some more fun stuff together and have more, which we do have more fun experiences than the fudged up ones, but I just was looking forward to more physical fun experiences. So, people, again, you see me happy, it's because I choose to be happy. It's because I intend to be happy. It's because I choose to be in that energy by the wisdom that I have. Because I know if I stay in my happy thoughts and in my thoughts of gratitude, there's going to be more things that I naturally attract. This is how the universe works. So if you're paying attention to drama, and you're paying attention to doubt, and you're paying attention to fear, and you're paying attention to this fucked up thing, that fucked up thing, this fucked up person, if you are putting your attention on those things, on those people, you are going to attract the same things over and over and over and over in your life. You are attracting that to you. You can change it. It is not going to be easy. Just like this book says, when your soul makes a decision, even if you got 90% of you, that's like your personality, that's like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm going to do what's regular. I'm going to do what's popular. I'm going to do that. Guess what? That 10% is backed by the power of God, the power of the universe, divinity. So that 90% is only backed up by people that's consciously disconnected from the source. So who you gonna roll with? I know who I'm rolling with. I'm rolling with divinity, baby. I'm rolling with divinity, baby. I love everybody, but I recognize everybody ain't gonna make the same choices that I'm making. Everybody don't have the knowledge or is applying the knowledge. People are at different levels. And so sometimes you got to love people from a distance and let people go and let people be. where they are. Because once again, I have no control over somebody else. I have no control on how somebody perceives me. I don't have any control on how a person receives me. I got no control over that. I only got control over me. So my happiness, my gratitude, I have control over by what I think, by what I pay attention to, by what I look at, by what I listen to. Let me tell you how my algorithm is programmed, baby. Programmed. Because see, the goal of these algorithms on these social media platforms is to keep you on here. To keep you on here as most as possible. So they're gonna show you the things that you like. So when you press that thumbs up, and you press that heart, it's listening to what you seeing and what you liking. So you want to know what comes on my algorithm on every platform? Positive stuff, spiritual stuff, funny stuff on each one of my platforms. And if they try to sneak in something that's some ratchet ass crap, I press the X. I don't like that. And the computer listens. And if the computer is listening, so is everything else. So make mental notes of what I'm saying, people. You know, yes, I'm laughing. Yes, I'm smiling. And I do this intentionally and on purpose. Doesn't mean that challenges don't come. It just means that they go quickly. Like, quickly, baby. Where am I at? I'm over here. You are constantly receiving guidance and assistance. I read this paragraph already. From your guides and teachers and from the universe itself. But I'm going to read it again. When you choose consciously to move towards the energy of your soul, you invite that guidance. When you ask the universe to bless you in your effort to align, yourself with your soul, you open a passageway between yourself, your guides, and your teachers. You assist their efforts to assist you. You invoke the power of the non-physical world. That is what a blessing is. The opening of a passageway between you and non-physical guidance. A personality that is conscious of its splinteredness and struggles consciously to become whole does not need to create negative karma in order to evolve, in order to learn to create responsibility, in order to acquire authentic power. When you struggle consciously with a choice between the wants of your personality and the needs of your soul, you enter a dynamic through which you are enabled to evolve without creating negative karma. That is the dynamic of temptation. What is temptation? Temptation is the universe's compassionate way of allowing you to run through what would be a harmful negative karmic dynamic if you were to allow it to become physically manifest. It is the energy through which your soul is given the gracious opportunity to have a dry run at a life lesson, at a situation that, if you can see clearly, can be removed and healed within the confines of your private world of energy and not spill into the larger energy field of other souls. Temptation is a dress rehearsal for a karmic experience of negativity. So what they saying? They saying basically when you are tempted, that is the universe way of saying, think this out and see what the consequences is. Now, as you are thinking whatever it is that's tempting you out, and you see, oh, well, if I do this, this could happen. That may affect this person this way. That may affect that person that way. You all the way thinking it through. You haven't made the decision. You haven't acted physically on it, but you have acted mentally on the situation. And when you have acted mentally on the situation, now you are able to work through it. Oh no, you know what? I'm not gonna do that because this could be like this. This could be like that. It happens to me all the freaking time. I told you about that fine motherfucker. Oh! I'll be like, I want to do A, B, C, and D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. And then I think. And I'm like, but it could have this negative effect. It could have that negative effect. So let me just take my behind home and take a cold shower. Even though I don't be taking cold showers, but you know what I'm saying. You know, let me go cool my ass off. Let me be responsible for my emotions and not buy into the temptation. You know, so that's basically what this is saying. The entire dynamic of temptation is the compassionate way of allowing you to see your potential pitfalls and cleanse yourself before you can affect the lives of others. It is a form of decoy in which the negativity is compassionately drawn from you. If you can see that before you create karma, as you respond to the decoy, you cleanse yourself by becoming aware and not having to actually live through the experience. You cleanse yourself without creating karma in interaction with other souls. How exquisite is temptation? It is the magnet that draws your awareness to that which would create negative karma if it was allowed to remain unconscious. So imagine if I was just unconscious of myself and I just would just be like, freak it. I'm just gonna see what happens. I'm gonna put this big old put these cakes right up in his face. I'm gonna put these cakes right up. No, I can't put these cakes up in his face. At least not yet. At least not right now. You know, I can't do that. I take the cakes home. Gotta take the cakes home with me. Gotta bring the cakes with me. In other words, temptation is a thought form that is designed to draw possible negativity from the human energy system without harming others. The soul understands that. Left to its own device, it would operate completely within the human energy system without spilling over and contaminating the collective consciousness. Temptations are not traps. Each temptation is an opportunity through which the soul is able to learn, depending on what you choose to do. Learn without creating karma, to evolve directly through conscious choice. The dynamic of temptation is the energy of what might be thought of as the challenging dynamic of the human experience. As the Luciferic principle, it serves the purpose of assisting the evolution of power. Lucifer means light bringer. I'm going to pause right there because I know y'all been taught the other things about that word. And because I was taught the other things about that word. But at one point in my life, I stopped listening to what people were saying and started researching myself. Now, not everybody is a bookworm. Not everybody is going to go into the, what's the word? Etymology? The etymology. What etymology means is the root of a word. Not everybody's going to do that. But I chose to. So when I see that word, I don't feel away because I don't have that programming anymore. I have discarded that programming. But initially, but look into the word. First of all, this language, this broken motherfucking English that we speaking of the king and of the crown, ain't the king and the crown of us. There are words in this freaking language purposely designed to confuse us or give us wrong interpretation and meaning. And a lot of these words come from a Latin origin. So look up the Latin origin of Lucius. It does mean light. So this person is accurate when they say Lucifer means light bringer. And yes, you were programmed to think that light bringer is negative because they wanted to enslave you, and they did enslave us mentally, and spiritually for a very long time. So, of course, these modern churches are not going to be like, hey, Lucifer is really not an evil word. They're going to be like, no, follow Jesus. And listen, I have no qualms with the word Jesus. I just know that there was people that were named Jesus came way after the enlightened man. That's what Christ means. Christ is another word for light. His name was Yeshua ben Yosef. That was his name. Yeshua ben Yosef. Yeshua ben Yosef. His name was not Jesus. Again, I'm not here to intentionally fuck up your programming, but your programming might get fucked up fucking around over here at the SupaTea Podcast Show. I'm gonna get back to the book though. Temptation, the Luciferic principle, is that dynamic through which each soul is graciously offered the opportunity to challenge those parts of itself that resist light. The Luciferic energy is represented in the Garden of Eden story by a snake, by the idea of a presence other than human that could tempt, but literally could not have dominion over the human being. The Luciferic energy tempts you, tempts the level of human being that is mortal, that is five sensory. But the snake cannot control the soul. It can merely threaten that part of you that becomes too linked to the physical. The snake is of the earth. When you are too close to the earth, when you find yourself honoring the gods of the earth and make earth your god and master, then so too you shall be bitten. The light-bringing energy, the Luciferic energy that tempted the person, Jesus of Nazareth, who became the Christ, and that tempted the person, Siddhartha Gautama, who became the Buddha, is the same energy that tempts you. It tempts the accountant to steal, the student to cheat, the spouse to adultery, the human being to external power. It opposes the light of your immortal soul to the physical light of your personality. It sets before you the vertical path and the horizontal path. What is the nature of transformation? Is it the compassionate way of temptation? Temptation is the gracious way of introducing each soul to his or her power. When you are seduced or threatened by external circumstances, you lose power. They gain power over you. With each choice that you make to align yourself with the energy of your soul, you empower yourself. This is how authentic power is acquired. It is a build-up, step by step, choice by choice. It cannot be mediated or prayed into being. It must be earned. When you choose to release anger, for example, you create an energy template around which your experiences will form. This energy pattern will draw to the surface the anger within you in order that you can release it. When you choose to challenge and to release a negative aspect of yourself, that aspect comes to the foreground. Everything starts to serve that purpose. Your dreams show you the archetypical dynamics of your anger. You find yourself continually in situations that generate anger within you. Your life appears to be distorted around anger because that is the aspect of you have chosen to challenge. And the universe has responded to your choice with compassion. When you consciously invoke growing, consciously invoke wisdom, you consciously invoke the parts of yourself that are not whole to come into the foreground of your life. With each reoccurrence of anger or jealousy or fear, you are given the choice to challenge it or to give into it. Each time you challenge it, it loses power and you gain power. Each time you are tempted to become angry or jealous or fearful and you challenge that feeling, you empower yourself. There would be no accumulation of strength inside if the choices that you make did not require discipline and intention. Hey, Lucretia. If you decide that you cannot beat a temptation, what you are really doing is giving yourself permission to be irresponsible. The desires and impulses that you feel that you cannot resist, that you lack the power to overcome, are your addictions. Addictions are the wants of the parts of your personality that are very strong and resistant to the energy of your soul. They are those aspects of your personality, of your soul incarnate, that are most in need of healing. They are your greatest inadequacies. Your addiction may be to food, drugs, anger, sex. You may have more than one addiction. In each instance, you cannot release the addiction until you rather understand the dynamic that underlies it. Beneath every addiction is the perception of power as external, as the ability to control and use the environment or others. Beneath every addiction is an issue of power. The journey to the soul begins with understanding that we are drawn automatically as a species to come to terms with power. Each human being is experiencing the causes and effects of his or her choices, his or her desires to fill in the empty, powerless places within him or her. This dynamic can be described in terms of an insecure humanity, but that's just the obvious. The mechanism at work is the journey towards genuine, authentic empowerment. Thank you so much. That's a lady. You see a lady tapping the screen? She knows about empowerment, okay? She knows. Wisdom, baby. Wisdom. This is why each human being struggles so deeply with power, the lack of it, the acquisition of it, and what it is really. How one should have it. Underlying every crisis, emotional, spiritual, physical, and psychological, is the issue of power. Depending upon the lens that you wear to interpret your crisis, you will either step closer to your soul or closer to the earth. The journey to wholeness requires that you look honestly, openly, and with courage into yourself, into the mirror, into the dynamic that lies behind what you feel. You feeling a way? Why are you feeling this way? You gotta ask yourself these questions. I ask myself those questions. I ask myself, why am I feeling this way? I shared something a little earlier about my sister Nikki, and yeah, I was sad. I was boo-hooing, and those emotions come and they go. They come and they go. And I had to ask myself, well, why? I know that even though she's not in the physical, she's still around. Why? And when I asked myself why, the answer came. Oh, because I in the physical want to do things with her in the physical, and now I can't do those things with her in the physical, but my soul answer, I can still do those things while I'm in the physical. And even though she's not in the physical right along, she's still around. So okay, calm down, take a breath, breathe, allow the emotion to flow and to go. Don't hold on to it. Don't hold on to it and get up every day. Oh man, I wish she was here. Oh man. No, not every day. Not every day. No. My wisdom tells me that ain't a wise thing to do. If I make the choice to think about something I don't want every single day, I'm going to attract into my life more things that I don't want. That ain't what I want to do. I want to attract things that I do want. So yeah, there's something that I don't want, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I do want. So I got a choice. I can choose to pay attention to what I don't want or what I do want. I make the wise choice to pay attention to what I do want. And then I work towards it. And it's not an overnight boom, but in time, I disempower the personality, wants, the ego, the flesh, and I empower my soul. And I still get to enjoy some things in the flesh. Yes, yes, yes. Absolutely, sis. I'm glad you here. Shoot. I think I just finished my daggone, I still got a little bit. I use my stuff very sparingly. And I know y'all like, what stuff she talking about? Lucretia, by the way, we got to do a quick commercial, okay? See that lady down there, Lucretia Body and Oil? Go to her page and follow her. She hand makes sugar scrubs that smell like yummity yum, 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 yum. She also makes oils, body butters, okay? And the stuff is delicious. You can feel her. You gotta order some. And it's this book, Seat of the Soul. Seat of the Soul by Gary Zukav. Can you see it? Hold up, let me get this right on this camera. And I'm reading from chapter 9. If you go onto my YouTube channel, you can catch me reading all the way from chapter 1. That'd be a free audio book. Shoot, you probably could catch the book on there free, the whole book. But if you want to listen to it, because audiobooks are the thing now, you could be multitasking. You could be working and listening and taking in the knowledge and the wisdom. And really, you really can't take in wisdom. You can learn from the wisdom of other people, but wisdom is something that is acquired through time. So let me retract that word right there. You can take in knowledge, but wisdom is when you apply the knowledge to your life experiences over and over and over and over again. Then you could be like, I got a little bit of wisdom. And we know, I know, she know. We know. She got more wisdom than me, But I'm getting there, girl. I'm getting there. Where's that at? The journey to wholeness requires that you look honestly, openly, and with courage into yourself, into the dynamics that lie behind what you feel, what you perceive, what you value, and how you act. I feel like I need to read that again. The journey to wholeness. That's everybody's innate purpose, is to become themselves holy, right? The journey to wholeness requires that you look honestly. You don't gotta share it with the world. I don't advise you to share it with the world until you have built up enough strength, because the world gonna throw shit at you, okay? They're gonna judge you, they're gonna call you, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna come at you. So you gotta build up that muscle before you even decide, and you may never decide to share it with the world. This is not for everybody to do. It's not for everybody to do, but it is for everybody to become who they are completely from their soul level. That is for everybody. Is it meant to be public for everybody? Heck to the no. Heck to the no. I don't encourage you to do it at all. But again, the journey to your wholeness, this is what it requires. You to look honestly at yourself. So you being honestly with yourself don't mean you got to tell the world what you discover about yourself. It just requires that you are honest with what you discover about yourself, and for you to be open with yourself, and to be courageously, to go into every nook and cranny within yourself and see what is behind your feelings. You feeling crappy? Why? Ask yourself, why? Why am I feeling like this? Go deeper than the surface. Go deeper than what you perceive. Look at what you are looking at. Look at what you value. Look at how you act. Be honest. Is my actions causing this? Oh, okay. Really. On a daily basis. It's a journey through your defenses and beyond, so that you can experience consciously the nature of your personality, change it so that it is in alignment with your soul, face what it has produced in your life. If you ain't happy with what you got in your life, then you need to change what's inside of you. And if you are happy, congratulate yourself, shoot, because you created that. And with whoever else you creating it with, enjoy and celebrate often, okay? Often. And yeah, choose to change the things that you don't like. And that is the end of chapter 9. The next chapter is addiction. And we will be going into that chapter next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Sharp, right here, TikTok and YouTube. I got my YouTube underneath on my tablet, and I got the TikTok right here. And I just want everybody to be encouraged. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Lucretia. I don't know if I'm going to put my order in, but it will be probably within the next 4 weeks. Because a whole bunch of stuff is happening, girl. You know, so I got to be budgeted. I think I'm going overseas next year for the first time. Oh, I'm nervous and excited all at once. Make sure that powder don't freaking be settling at the bottom. I stir up my creatine, but then sometimes I get to the bottom of my coffee and the creatine is sitting there. I'll be like, I know I stirred this creatine and this collagen for at least 2 minutes. Why is it sitting at the top? Why? I mean, at the bottom rather. Why? Anyway, I'm gonna finish this coffee. It's been a while since I've been on it. Professor Wax. Let's say Professor Whale Andre. I'm at the end of this broadcast, people. I appreciate you all for coming in. I'm glad to be of value and to be of service. This is Soulful Sundays here at the SupaTea Podcast Show. I'll be back here again next Sunday, every Sunday. And once this book is complete, I got a whole bunch of other books, okay? We're going to go into another one. And that's just what we're going to do as the show evolves. It's just going to continue building and growing like that organically. So again, thank you for tuning in. You can catch the replay on YouTube if you came in at the end. And y'all have a good, wonderful week, people. All right. Take care, y'all. Thank you again. Okay, so that one ended. And I wasn't looking too much down here, but oh shoot. I'm on a new stage in my journey. TikTok is celebrating me. Hey. I don't even know where the camera is on this daggone. There's more than one camera on here. That's right. I don't know where one is at. I shouldn't say I don't know where none is at. I just know where one is at. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea Podcast Show. You can watch this replay here and on YouTube and share. Thank you for subscribing as well.